Okay, next session is going to be in English. Έχουμε μαζί μας την τιμή να υποδεχτούμε την Nikki Pawsey, η οποία είναι πραγματικά μια παγκόσμια ηγέτιδα στον κλάδο των μη κερδοσκοπικών. Είναι πραγματικά η δήμονα και expert στο πώς να ξεσηκώσει κόσμο, να δέσει κοινό, να βρει χορηγούς κλπ. Θα της κάνω λοιπόν την Key Director του Global Network Leaders του LinkedIn. Θα της κάνω λοιπόν την εισαγωγή στα αγγλικά και θα ακούσουμε και από την Nikki την ίδια. Right, so we are welcoming on the stage Nikki Pawsey. Nikki Pawsey is a global leader in the non-profit sector. She's an expert in how to engage and motivate donors and supporters, and generally a real people motivator as a person. You will meet her. Nikki has a career spanning in over 20 years, and she has mobilized communities to give time, money, and a voice to make a difference. Currently, she's working full-time as director of the Global Network Leaders at LinkedIn. Her role focuses on building the LinkedIn community, right? A community that really supports women to achieve their ambition. And her goal when she took on the role was to actually have a network in every single city around the world. It's a real honor that Nikki is here with us today. One would assume that her role entails traveling all over the world every single week, being with different networks and women. She doesn't. This is like one of her, one of her few trips. Second trip with the network globally, and it's such an honor for us to have her with us today. So a really big round of applause. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank you so much, Nikki. I'm now worried from what Areti said that maybe that's not the right spelling. I was going to try and say Yasu. I am sorry I can't speak in Greek, but I am thrilled to be here today. It's my first time in Athens. But it's not my first time to the Greek islands. I've been to your beautiful island of Rhodes. And I remember it well because it was the first holiday I went without any adults. So I had a wonderful time. I love the food and I love the people. I have had such a warm welcome wherever I have gone since I arrived yesterday. But what I really wanted to take a moment was just to pause and thank four very special people here today. Areti, Nikki, Vivian, and Tigoni, you have done such a wonderful job at not just organizing this amazing day today, but to lead this community that you are lifting up so many women across not just this city, but around the country. What you are achieving is quite extraordinary. It really is. And not only are you there to support the women, the circle leaders, you're making sure our voices are heard at the top of government, across media, within companies, and across various communities. It's not easy. It's unpopular. And it's hard. But then when you get a room filled with women, power happens. And so thank you for bringing Lean into life in Greece for us. From the first time I met you on Zoom, I knew you were a special team. So it is very, very exciting for me to come here and meet you all in person. So one more round of applause. Thank you. I don't know how to move to the next slide. Do I nod? Oh, have I got a clicker? Oh, great. Thank you so much. I now have got too many things to hold. Let me put my glasses down and my pen down. I won't lose my notes just in case. So, I am Nikki Pawsey. I am the Global Network Leaders Program. So the director of that. What is that? That's a crazy title. Essentially, I have the honor of serving a community of volunteers across the world. So Greece is one network of 93 others across 40 countries that supports over 100,000 women to make a difference, which is astonishing. And I feel it is an honor and a duty I have to equip, support, inspire, and motivate so that we grow, so that we achieve every single woman's ambition. Numbers are numbers, but for me, it's about quality. You know, one woman at a time, we can change this world and we can achieve equality. And what I love about Lean In, why did I join Lean In? Because of this restless activist nature that you all have. No matter where I go or who I talk to in my back bedroom on my Zoom computer, I could be in Mongolia or New Zealand or Greece or the UK or America, and everyone has the same thing. They want to get on. They want to have support. They want to be heard. And there are more things in common than there are our differences, our languages, our cultures, and it's inspiring. And if you have a chance to talk to Nikki, we had the privilege of being together in San Francisco in July, where we got to meet some of those people. And the atmosphere was electric. The connections were very different from other conferences that you go to, maybe because of your industry or because of where you want to aspire to. Because everyone deep down really believes in this, and so therefore you automatically bond with the people in the room. And it was really wonderful. It's the best job that I have ever had, where I get to personally align what I value with helping and getting paid for it at the same time. So that's a win. The other thing you need to know about me is I love animals. I'm so excited that there's a Westie in the room. And I have a dog called Skipper, but he is sick at the moment. And so this is a way of making sure he's with me in my heart today while I am so far away from home. So why am I here? I'm here. Firstly, put your hands up if you're in a circle. Great. I'm preaching to the converted. Put your hands up if you are new this time. Wonderful. Put your hand up if you're not sure why you're here, or you've never been here before, or this is something new you'd like to learn about. Wonderful. You're so welcome. So Lean In is different from other women's organizations, and everyone has its place. Not one is better than the other. And Lean In focuses on women in the workplace. We could focus on all other issues that women face, but we have to put our flag in the ground for one thing, and the one thing we choose is women in the workplace. And we do that also by recognizing that the world isn't equal. There are not enough senior leadership positions filled by women, and that concerns us. We want equality. We want diversity of thinking. We want empathetic leaders. We know better decisions are made when you have got full representation of who your workforce are and who your product is targeted to at the top. But we're not seeing that. Why is that? There are lots of barriers to prevent women from progressing. And so Lean In recognizes that actually by focusing on working together to support women to grow, to fulfill those ambitions, it really works. And today, I just want to remind you of a few new initiatives. Some of you, I know, already know about our wonderful new collection, Women at Work. In fact, there are 9 circles that have registered for the new material that we gave early access as a benefit to being in the networks. And the program will be available to the wider public from the 15th of November. So I just want to talk through a little bit about what we did, how we did it, what's it all about, so that you feel really informed. And then, fitting nicely with the theme of today, I'm so excited to be talking about Lean In Girls. Why Lean In Girls when I've just been talking about women in the workplace? What does that mean? What does the program include? How can you get involved? And then that will be enough talking from me, and then I will hand back over to the program. But Firstly, can you no, I'm not going to go to that one. Oh, that's interesting. The slide's not there. Anyway, I can wing it. Put your hand up if you have not gone for a job because you haven't got 100% of the things that they're looking for. Shocking, yeah. Put your hand up if you haven't spoken out because you're afraid of how the rest of the project team might take it. Yeah. And put your hand up if you have seen microaggressions, you have seen people being put down in your workplace. Yeah. I mean, unfortunately for me, there are far too many hands up. And this is, again, why we feel the need to come together to make those changes. And with Lean In, to get to the senior positions, we don't want to get them because we're women. We don't want to tick a box. We don't want to be a quota. We want to be the best people for the job. And so therefore you need to encourage women to step up at the bottom so that the pipeline is filled with the right people, with the right skills. And then the hard part is we want women to stay. So how do you do that when there is a lot of pressure, when there is difficulty? It is hard. It is lonely in those management positions. We call this problem the broken rung of like not having enough women coming together and going for what they potentially really could achieve. Every year we do a Women in the Workplace report. It's coming out next Thursday. So last year the theme was the Great Breakup. Lots of women choosing to walk out of organisations for the lack of flexibility, going, I'm not going to put up with this any longer. I suspect we will still see the same things. There are not enough conversations happening around what does the new hybrid model look like post-COVID. But I think what the hope of that is, the organisations that have the foresight and gone ahead and created more hybrid models, they will see women really ambitious, going, I can deal with my caring responsibilities and have my career and balance it at home and be seen and heard. So I said it was hard. There's a lot of pressure. It feels like too much sometimes. The world's against us, and we can't find our allies. Your mum and your dad are always going to love you. Your spouse, your partner are always going to say you're great. But actually, when you're at work, you feel quite alone sometimes because you don't want to admit on feeling weak. You don't want to tell your boss that perhaps you're struggling, or how do you become their boss because they're a terrible boss? You know, so where do you have these conversations to really further your career? We say circles. I had the joy earlier of having a very wonderful person translate to me some of the circle stories that I heard this morning, knowing that you are coming together in male-dominated environments to have conversations, to still be there, to be part of the story, fills my heart with joy. So thank you so much for the work that you're doing. And you're right, we need to help more. We need to get the message out more. Circles provide that safe space. Circles get together, they can cheerlead each other on, support each other, and make sure that you're not alone. And that's really important. It's also important to have fun as well. So for those that don't know, we believe in the peer-to-peer mentorship. So many leaders of this world really recognize that having a sponsor or a mentor has helped them progress in their careers. They're not easy to find. People might not have money for coaches. And if your organization doesn't provide those programs, where do you get them? Circles are that peer-to-peer. You get more than one. You get the lived experience of 8 to 10 women sharing how they're going through life, giving you ideas and support to come to your own decisions of how to move forward. Meet once a month. maybe more frequently, maybe less frequently. Talk about some topics that are top of mind. Lean in on our website, provide lots of topics, but you already know the things that you want to talk about. These could be public speaking. These could be setting goals. This could be about centered leadership. How are you developing your skills? And circles are a great way to try new things and develop new skills. The impact is massive. As we stand today, 80,000 circles in 183 countries have started. Since 2013, 124 circles started across Greece. At the moment, I think we have 66 active circles, which is phenomenal. But again, they're just numbers. What do I really care about? Right at the bottom, 2/3 of circle members have taken on a new challenge because they've been in their circle. That's amazing. Everyone has taken one step forward towards achieving their goals and felt encouraged to do so. So, in 10 years, we've had the same content, the same videos, and the same discussion. It has not been very global. It has not been the most intersectional. And so we have taken all of our learnings over the last 10 years. We have interviewed members of our community, and we have created a new collection focusing on leadership, navigating bias. How do you then also spend time and dedicate time to advance your careers? We've called it the Women at Work collection. And as I said earlier, we've had 9 circles across Greece sign up for our early access to give us feedback on what the content is like. And I just wanted to share a little bit more about that. So the way we work is that we are rooted in research. So we take surveys from women in workplaces to understand what are the topics to mind. Then we go to brain trusts, which are academics. So whether that's people in leadership positions, whether that's university data that's coming out, and then we synthesize all of that and then create a more actionable, simplified version so that everyone can understand in a short period of time how to take that information and use it in a practical way. There are 18, I think it's 18 modules, and they are designed in playlists that lasts for about 60 minutes each one. And what's it different on this one is it's a little bit more structured than we've done before. There are full guides. There's a video, there's a discussion guide, and then next year we're going to develop some fact sheets, so top tips and further research. That's still in the works. Especially as we're launching this properly in November, everything is still racing to the deadline. As you can see, the topics are coming up of what people told us. And so I'm just going to pick a few. How to become a transformational leader, 5 ways to fight burnout, tips on how to respond to microaggressions of work. And there's also specific playlists targeting underrepresented communities. So if you are an Asian woman, if you're a Latina, if you're a Black woman, how LGBTQ plus women can respond in workplaces and be their authentic selves. We're really excited about this content. We really hope that it enables more women to come to lean in and create new circles, knowing that there's full guides on how to set the meeting up. You would be attached to a network to get the support, meet other circle leaders. And also the time-bound thing is quite new. We've recognized, especially post-COVID, people are more intentional about their time. So knowing that you're joining for, say, 6 months, you're going to go through a series of topics, you're going to meet like-minded people, and you're going to learn new skills. And then you're going to come away from that, and you could choose another playlist, or you could form another circle, but at least you've had that bit of information. And for us, we think that Lean In is there for when you need it, doesn't have to be there forever. And I know circle leaders often worry about members coming and going and the engagement of that. People will come when they really want to come, and when and so it's having those good discussions up front about what they expect, what they will get from the sessions, and that can really help. So These are the resources that will be available from the 15th of November on our website. 9 of you have a sneak peek already. And it will be a video, a discussion guide, and a fact sheet. And unfortunately, at the moment, they will be in English. However, the videos are going to be hosted on YouTube. And my understanding is that YouTube will then enable at least 33 languages to have subtitles and to be translated. So that does remove a little barrier, but it's not perfect. So we're going to provide editable, easy for me to say, and I've not had a tequila yet, editable guides to be able for local translations to happen if that is useful for you and your communities. Oh, that's not what I expected either. Like to keep me on my toes. So the other thing I wanted to say about it is if you're in it, I want to know the feedback. I can't wait to hear how the meetings go. On the 15th of November, the only thing I ask everyone to do is share it. Share the link, cascade it, put it on your social media, make a nod to it on your LinkedIn. Take 2 minutes out while you're making a coffee and send it. Then maybe you'd want to use it in your existing circle. Try the new material, see if that resonates. Maybe start a new circle if you're new and think that that topic really speaks to you. Take it to your workplace. Have they seen this? Would they give permission for these conversations to happen within work time? So just different ways in which you can engage with the content and different opportunities to help us reach more women so they can then in turn achieve their ambitions. Okay. So, everyone stand up. I've just been talking too long, and you just need to shake it all off and stretch and do whatever you do, but don't take anyone out next to you. Big stretches up and down and around. And then imagine if you're 11 years old. What were you doing when you were 11 years old? And if you'd like to sit back down again, have a really good think. And then turn to the person next to you, or the group next to you, and say, if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, so when you were 11, what would it be? What would it be? Have a couple of minutes talking. I don't know about you, but it's quite hard sometimes to think all the way back to 11 years old. That was quite a few years ago for me. And if I can ask you to draw your conversations to a close. I think we know, don't we, that there are things that we would tell ourselves, things that we wouldn't worry about as much, things that seemed life and death at the time really have changed and meant nothing. And so that's important to us. I fortuitously, in an interview today, was asked the same question. And I said I would believe in myself a little bit more, and I wouldn't worry about things either, because I was 11 and things are going to change. I still think I should probably give that advice to myself today. But yes, I think we all recognise the importance of that, which is why I'm excited that Lean In's newest programme is focused on Lean In girls. So I told you earlier about why Lean In, and we focus on women in the workplace, and actually that's our unique sticky sauce. And so why am I talking about Lean In girls who are clearly not in the workplace and really shouldn't be at 11 years old? Well, we spent 10 years doing this, and we're having the same conversation 10 years later. So the reality is things aren't changing quickly enough. And so I think we've all learned and seen that we need to start a lot younger. And I think that if we can get equality for women, then we have to get equality for girls too. And we want to change the world, right? So to change the world, you need to have the equality, and we need to start younger. What is it? I'm just going to read this one because it's the line I can't get wrong or ad-lib on. It's a leadership program. So this is about encouraging and inspiring girls to be leaders, especially in a world that often tells them they are not. So we want to equip girls to be self-assured, resilient, and inclusive everyday leaders, and inspire them to lead boldly. So why have we chosen girls, and why aren't we just talking about young teens and boys? Of course, these lessons apply to boys, but we're a women's organisation. This is what we know and what we do well. And we also know that some of the data from North America stacks up that girls are under-indexing on confidence, on likability, feeling the pressures. And so we feel we can make a difference for girls. In a nutshell, we want to help them understand that life can be tough. So we want to equip them with some tools now to help them navigate, because we can't stop those things from happening. We can change how they feel about it, though. Why focus on 11 to 15-year-olds? Unfortunately, there's some startling data. This is based in North America, but I think some of the trends track globally. There is a mental health problem. Unfortunately, 57% of young girls are saying they're feeling persistently sad or a bit hopeless. And then when you think about leadership, fewer than 1 in 4 girls recognize that that's something important in life. Just doesn't appear. And then 50% of girls think that by speaking their mind, it will make them unlikable. I really resonate with that. I didn't speak my mind when I was that age. I wanted to fit in so badly. And all of this wraps up into a confidence crisis. I mean, there's so much going on at that age. There is a lot of pressure at school around achievement focuses. There's a lot of social media, things that I never had to deal with, but there still was social pressures about groups and friends and forming those relationships. There's the appearance. I don't think that ever goes, but it feels really big at that age as well. And yet, there's this real hope, because around that age, young teens start to care and think about social justice. They start to ask questions about the inequalities they're seeing. They start to feel the stereotypes. So how do they deal with that? With all of that going on, I mean, that's hard enough as an adult, and I think half of this curriculum is good for all of us, not just those young people. So this is why we've developed the program. And our approach to the program development is the same for every program that Lean In develops. We start with the audience. Who are we designing the program for? Get them in the room, let's listen to them, let's walk them through the things that we're thinking about, hear what is top of mind of them. Then match it with the research, get all the academics, all of those in leadership, all of those that are working with girls in particular for this particular program, to start to shape what those themes are. And then collaborate, test, learn, bring it back with the brain trust, with the teams in the room. And then our secret sauce, or our sticky subject, or our USP, if you like, is make it simple. Take those complex topics and make it bite-sized so that you can take some action and you can understand and make it important for those teens. Just to give you an idea, these are the teens that have helped develop the Brain Trust, have been part of the Brain Trust for Lean In Girls for nearly 2 years. They have been working together with us. And then layered within that are the adult experts that we've had as well. So you can see we've thought very deeply and intentionally about the subjects that we have chosen. And the Lean In Girls curriculum is designed in 4 parts. And it has a series of 15 topics. Again, they're about 1 hour long. And the first sort of 2-3 topics, the first 2 parts as we call it, are available worldwide, downloadable today. We launched it at the end of July. And they're focused on celebrating leadership, talking about stereotypes, rejecting those stereotypes. It's thinking about values. And what does that mean to live a life with value? And then it's also just having some celebration around finding their own leadership style. It's designed so any adult or small group can deliver this. It's downloadable, there's some online training, there are facilitators guides with activities to take you through it. The other parts, 3 and 4, are a little bit more complex. They're around tackling likability bias, they're tackling how to be an ally in the room, and at this stage we're working with partners who are already working with girls to deliver that for us. At the moment, because it's months old, we are again focusing our attention on rolling that out in North America. We hope that that will go global in the coming months, maybe years. Lean In doesn't do anything quickly, to be honest. Just to give you a sneak peek, what does the content look like? What is it? So it runs similar to a circle in that you check in. What did you do last time? What was the actions? Who is everyone in the room? Introducing each other. And then there's like an ignite. It's like an energizer to get the mood set. So an example could be if there was a curriculum they chose that we're working on values, it would be a matching exercise. So standing up, one person's got an action, another person has got a value. Try and find a partner. So one action could be stand up to bullying. A value might be courageous. And so get together and have that discussion. So the energizers are setting the tone, talking about things in a fun way. And then the learning that comes from that is, okay, so let's take a look at a list of 30 values. What speaks to you as an individual that really stands out? What does living a life with those values, turning them into action look like? How do you influence your day-to-day with that? Here are some scenarios you would walk through, which is around how would you react if this, or what value is being displayed with that, and having a discussion. There's no right or wrong, but it's starting to learn the importance of having values as your core when you're making those decisions and plans for your life. And then you'd close off. So maybe you choose your values and go, these are the number of values that really speak to me. And before we come back together, I'm going to think about them, or I'm going to even try and put them into practice so that I can share what that felt like last time. So that's how it runs. That's a sneak peek into the content. You can obviously access that. All of the information on how to set the room up, how to moderate, how to mediate, all of the things to think about when you've got people in a room, how to walk you through the activities are downloadable. Everything is free of charge. That's very important to us. But at this stage, they are all in English. How would you get involved? So for those that can, it would be wonderful to have conversations with your teens at home. It would be great to share this with communities, with educators you know, with community church groups, with organizations, so they know this content is available to them. Sometimes, because Lean In material is free, people think it's shit. And it's like, this is really well thought out. We're just taking the barriers away, and then we can't get that out. So we really rely on our community to bring it to life. You can join our Facebook group to share the top tips and be part of our Lean In Girls community. And of course, if you want to, you can download the materials and host sessions and organize workshops and go through the curriculum. Certainly those first 2 parts are so important, and I wish I had that when I was 11. So, that is loads of me talking, and I'm very grateful for your attention. I wondered, and I'm afraid they'd have to be in English, if you had any questions for me. Yes. Hi.
So, okay, let me repeat. So next to me, I have a student of mine. I'm teaching her English, and I really hope she understands what I'm talking about right now. So we had a discussion, and at one point, I was talking about leadership, and she looked at me and she's like, "So what is leadership, ηγεσία, in Greek?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, she's 13 years old. She knows all this stuff about social media. She's very active, and she doesn't know anything about leadership." So I said to her, I'm going to answer to you through my channel at YouTube that she loves, and we are representing today as the crazy teacher. And so I did. You know, it was a simple question, but to me, here, the issue is we have a wonderful program, but we lack the basics. You know, I lived in the States for 3 years, and I know that you talk about diversity, you talk about leadership, you talk about a lot of things that here is still very low in level. And so my question is, how can we help these children, because they're children, to actually go there but have more of a basis? Because we do need a basis. We are in a different reality here.
Thank you so much for that question, and it's so important. So, we really want schools to take this on. And if we can get into schools, that would be great, because we know we can achieve scale and have conversations. But the very first exercise is, what is leadership? And so it talks about defining what leadership is and making young people realize they can be leaders of their own life right now. It's not a prime minister, it's not mum, it's not in my community. You can lead your life, and then how do you become leaders? There is a challenge getting it out. Of course there is. But this is why we start with 11-year-olds to go start thinking about this. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to add that to this great initiative regarding girls, we should include boys also. We shouldn't have only girls club because I have sons. That's why I see it from another perspective. So I would say that boys' perspective in all this initiative should be a priority also. What's your opinion on this?
I mean, for sure. This is content for everyone. We do it because we're a women's organisation, and this is our expertise. It can be used for boys. And I think also what's an important lesson is for boys to know that girls can feel like this, because sometimes they don't feel the same, and they don't, not in the same numbers. I mean, these are big generalizations. But from the 350 girls that we ran this pilot program with, 88% felt more confident to be a leader. And so for me, we know it's really working for girls, but of course it will work for boys. And I encourage you to talk to your boys about it too. Thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Hi. First of all, thank you so much for being here today. I was so excited to come and bring my daughter and her friend because we are really excited about Lean In Girls. And first, congratulations, much needed. And I think that actually it didn't delay, it came at a great time because after establishing Lean In for women, this is a great time for at least us as circle leaders to be able to embrace it and hopefully help with that scale and acceleration. So first, thank you. Second, I would love to hear from you, looking and listening to the research and the insights that you gathered. What were your aha moments? What were those insights that you thought, wow, we haven't looked into that, or we haven't tapped into that? So I'm really curious about the insights and the research that you did and what came out of it.
Wow, thank you so much for your compliments, and it's great to meet you and your girls and friends. I didn't write the program, so I wasn't there for the aha moments. But what I hear and what the team have been so surprised about is the appetite for leadership and ambition that perhaps we hadn't thought was there. We thought we might be introducing something new, and that wasn't there. There was a real appetite. There was also an understanding that stereotypes and bias were already entrenched. And perhaps we knew that, but not as much. And so we needed tools to do now. We were thinking, oh, build them for the future. And actually it was tools to help now. And then also make it fun. You know, it's we kind of get a little bit too academic ourselves, and not everyone learns that way. And so what we were surprised at as actually this has helped them make friends. They feel more connected to their peers because they've had these conversations. And so that feels like a softer benefit, but really important when you're that old and you've then got a friend that you really trust. And if I find any more, I shall share them with the team and then she can share them out. And good luck in sharing out the program. Thank you. I think we have time for another question. Doing a great job there, Nikki, running around. Hi.
Hello? Okay. So my question was, obviously you're talking about girls that are 11 years old onwards. But what about if we introduce this through sports clubs and things like that at a younger age, where truly there is that girl empowerment and learning how to be a team player and taking leadership and all this at a younger age? Would that be appropriate?
I mean, I say go for it. You go with what works. And sports is so important. What we see is that girls don't often drop out of sports at a slightly older age because they're more body conscious or that there is other social pressures happening. But you're so right. Sports is a brilliant way to learn team playing, leadership, confidence. And we would love, you know, more girls to be in those sports. I'm particularly proud of the British football team at the moment and what that has done to enable every school to offer football to every child. That seems crazy in 2023 that wasn't happening, and now it is. So yes, we design the content based on research on that age. But I have been talking to colleagues in India who say that's going to work for 20-year-olds, that's going to work for 16-year-olds. It depends where you're at and what accessibility you have. For sure, go for it. I think we're at time, aren't we?
I didn't even have to use my cards. Okay, Nikki was the person who inspired these. She was walking around the room in the last conference.
Time is important.
Absolutely.
You are giving us time, and that's really important. I don't want to waste that.
So before you just head off, I just wanted to say really thank you from the bottom of my heart for being with us today. Nikki has been really acclaimed, to be the heart and soul of Lean In because of how she manages the whole network globally. And it was truly an honor to have you here with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. Thank you all.